Workshop, Sherry Weston.
Thank you. So it's an honor to be here, and I want to thank both Save the Children and Concordia for providing this opportunity for us to elevate the needs of children in crisis. I also want to congratulate Carol and Miles and Save the Children on their 100th anniversary. It's a tremendous milestone and such a tribute to their work. Now, Sesame Street, we're only halfway there, but we are celebrating our 50th anniversary this year. So I'm sure most of you here, thank you. I'm sure most of you here are familiar with Sesame Street, but you may not be aware of the depth and breadth of our work. Sesame Workshop is a global nonprofit on a mission to help children everywhere grow smarter, stronger, and kinder. And we have a long history of tackling some really tough challenges, but always from the lens of a child. We focus on reaching children in their critical early years when we know we can have the greatest impact. And neuroscience shows that a child's brain undergoes the fastest brain development in those first 5 years of life. We also know from the research that the impact of traumatic events during a child's early years literally inhibits their brain development, which can have lifelong repercussions, both mentally and physically, in terms of their well-being. But we also know from research that we can help mitigate these effects if we reach children in the early years with nurturing care, and by promoting engagement between parent and child, between children and caring adults, we can change their trajectories. So as Caroline and Philippe spoke so eloquently, we do believe that the global refugee crisis has become the defining humanitarian challenge of our time. There are millions of displaced children who have no access to quality early learning, and yet less than 3% of all humanitarian aid goes to education. And it's only a tiny sliver of that that goes to early education. If you think about it, it's a great irony that the children that are impacted the most, when you think of the trauma of displacement, in the time in their life that has the greatest consequences, and we know reaching them early will have the most effect, are actually getting the least help. And that's what compelled Sesame Workshop to join together with the International Rescue Committee, with BRAC and others, to bring hope and opportunity to a generation of refugee children. And thanks to the audacious support of the MacArthur Foundation and then the LEGO Foundation, you may have heard about the MacArthur 100 and change, and then LEGO Foundation, they both committed $100 million over 5 years to address this issue. And thanks to their audaciousness, we'll be able to reach millions of displaced children throughout the Syrian response region as well as the Rohingya crisis, bringing them quality early education, bringing them nurturing care, and playful learning. So through these programs, we also hope we can be a catalyst for further investment in early childhood development in crisis settings. We also aim to create models that can be replicated and scaled for children, not just in the Syrian crisis or Rohingya, but for displaced children wherever they may be. Our program in the Syrian response region is called Ahlan Simsim, which means welcome sesame in Arabic. And just to give you a little sense of it, it combines both direct services, home visitations, learning centers, health centers, with IRC's staff on the ground, as well as an all-new production using mass media to reach children, both displaced children from Syria as well as their new neighbors in Lebanon, Jordan, Iraq. And we've learned from extensive research in the region that what children there need the most, not just displaced children, but also those in the host communities, is help with the social emotional skills. Caroline touched on this earlier too. They really need to be able to identify emotions. In order to manage your emotions, you must first identify them. And that's one of the first steps in building the executive functioning skills they need to learn. That's why Ahlan Simsim is focusing on the emotional ABCs. And by creating all new, locally produced adaptation of Sesame Street, we'll introduce children to new Arabic Muppets, new Arabic-speaking characters, and we know that these characters become role models. And we'll create storylines that they can relate to. And so I would like to tell you a little bit about those storylines. The two new Muppets One is Jed, and he is a 6-year-old boy who had to leave his home. Another is his new best friend, a very outgoing little girl Muppet named Basma, who has welcomed Jed with open arms. So you kind of get the storylines here. But I am also thrilled to say that Basma, for the first time, has come all the way from the Middle East to join us here today. So please welcome Basma.
Marhaba, marhaba, assalamu alaikum. Hi, everybody. Hi. Oh, hi, Miss Sherry.
I'm so excited you're here. Look at all these people.
Wow, there are so many people.
Well, we're so glad you could come, Basma, from such a long way away to be with us.
Oh, this is so exciting for me. I love to meet new people and make new friends. In fact, where I come from, we're kind of known for making friends.
Well, I know that, and I was just telling everyone about Ahlan Simsim and how it means welcome Sesame. Can you tell us a little bit about it there?
Well, my neighborhood is the most welcoming place in the whole wide world.
And I hear you have a new best friend.
I do, Miss Sherry, I do. His name is Jad, and he's almost 6, just like me. He just moved to our neighborhood.
And do you and Jed have a lot in common?
Well, in some ways, we're not alike at all. Like, I have purple fur, and Jad is yellow. And I like to sing la 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 and dance a doo da da doo da da doo da da. And Jad likes to paint. But we both love to go on adventures together. Jad will plan out every detail in advance, but I just like to go, go, go. So I say, Yalla Jad. That means let's go in Arabic. I say it a lot.
Well, it sounds like you two have so much fun together. But I thought you told me that Jad was a little sad and that he had trouble making friends when he first arrived.
He did, Miss Sherry. But Tita Noor, who's like a grandmother to us, she told me that it can be hard to make friends when you don't know anyone. So we all worked really hard to make sure Jad felt welcome. And now he has so many friends, and it feels like we've known him forever.
Aw, but if he does get sad again and misses old friends, I'm sure you'll try to help him, right?
I do. I mean, all of Jad's new friends help cheer him up. You see, Tita Noor taught us about big feelings, and that's when you feel sad or afraid or angry and you don't know what to do. So we learned special ways to help each other feel better. Things like counting to 5, or my favorite, belly breathing. Oh, wait, Miss Sherry, do you want to try belly breathing?
I would love it. I would love it.
Oh, everybody,
everybody
even
should,
in the back.
right?
Okay, put your hand on your belly, breathe in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Easy, huh?
It does. It really helps. It helps when you're up here, too, I have to say. So I think that is great, and I want to say that I'm so happy that you and Jed have become such good friends, and I know you're going to have many more wonderful adventures on Ahlan Simsim.
Thanks, Miss Sherry. I'm excited to get back there. But before I do, I heard there's so much to see in New York.
This is true.
Yalla, Miss Sherry, let's go exploring.
Well, we will. That sounds great. But first, I want to thank you for coming all this way, and I want to thank everyone here for giving Basma such a warm welcome.
Thank you. Shukran, shukran. Bye.